ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls? My name is Dr. Film, and welcome to my review of Venom. Directed by Ruben Fleischer, the casting of the film is Tom Hardy, Michelle Williams, and Riz Ahmed. And just to clarify, this movie has no connection to the MCU whatsoever. Or is it? But first, before we go on to the review, I'd just like to say something.
Spoilers ahead. If you haven't seen the movie, we are going to eat both of your arms, both of your legs. We're going to eat your face right off your head. You're going to be this armless, legless, faceless thing, rolling down the street like a turd in the wind.
As soon as I heard that Tom Hardy was being cast as Eddie Brock, I agreed with their decision because, honestly, I could see him as Eddie Brock. He was fully committed to his role as Eddie Brock, and he was terrific. And the CGI modern update and the design of Venom looks promising. It actually looks like from the comics. I know people might complain like, oh, it doesn't have the white spider symbol. It's not Venom, it's just a copycat. Oh. But to be fair, in the comics, the symbiote, before the symbiote attached to Eddie Brock, it originally bonded with Spider-Man. This makes sense why Venom doesn't have the white spider symbol in the movie because, let's face it, there's no Spider-Man in this movie. But the only downside is that both of these characters, Eddie Brock and Venom, barely have an introduction. I know what you're thinking. I mean, we're familiar with this character. He's from the comics and such. But what about for those who don't know these characters at all? It will leave some audiences feel confused and questioning themselves what led them to who they are now. Michelle Williams playing as Eddie Brock's ex-girlfriend didn't come out as annoying or useless. I mean, she did help out Venom at the ending of the film. I thought she was a good addition to the film. Also, my favorite part is where she turns into She-Venom. Yeah, in case you didn't know, in the comics, Eddie Brock's ex-girlfriend does become She-Venom. And it was awesome, man! But it only lasted for a few minutes. Total letdown. The antagonist of the film is... Okay, I just gotta be honest with you. He doesn't make a lick of sense. Look, I understand his point of view. He's like, oh, trying to make the world a better place. Oh, he's seeing himself as a god. He doesn't care who lives or dies. Gee, I wonder if we haven't seen that story arc before. And to be fair, I just don't see Riz Ahmed as the antagonist. I just feel like he's just some guy pretending to be this big corporate boss while his real boss is away on vacation. But there is one scene I like where he has this interesting conversation with this homeless patient where he talks about the story about Abraham about to sacrifice his own son Isaac. I thought it was a good addition. I mean, it got me interested in knowing to know more about this antagonist. But Riz Ahmed didn't execute it very well. I mean, come on, man. In fact, most of the dialogue in this film is pretty horrendously weird or odd. For instance, remember when the head of the Security of Life Foundation was talking to Eddie and he was strapped to this chair and he said, I'm gonna rip your tongue out. Dude, why does he talk like that? Look, I know Venom threatened him to eat his pancreas, lungs, and eyes, but does he have to talk like that as if he's a cartoon character? Which is pretty weird. Now, in case you don't know, the storyline is based on a 6-issue comic book called Lethal Protector, where in the comics, Venom moves from New York to San Francisco, but finds himself against 5 new symbiotes from the Life Foundation, such as Scream, Phage, Lasher, Agony, and the one and only Riot. When I heard that they were going for this idea, I was like, this could work. I mean, it's only about Venom facing up other symbiotes. I mean, this probably could work. But I was wrong. In fact, the filmmakers only included Riot throughout the majority of the film, and he barely does anything at all until the ending of the climax. Now I know what you're thinking. Oh, we've seen the other symbiotes. Does that count? Yes, but the thing is, they barely do anything at all too. They only bonded with rabbits or homeless patients, which is a big letdown for Spider-Man fans alike. What happened to these other symbiotes? Did they die of starvation? Did they escape the Life Foundation? It's like they didn't show up in the movie at all. The action in this film was okay, but there's one sequence that I liked, which was the car chase sequence, where Venom is trying to protect Eddie from all kinds of danger, like gunmen and cars and remote-controlled drones. Why does the Life Foundation have them? What is their purpose? The rest of the action isn't quite memorable. For instance, the climactic showdown between Venom and Riot. And I'm just gonna say it's painful to watch. I mean, it is an example of bad CGI effects. You can barely tell what's going on. It's just too blurry and it makes you nauseous sometimes. But there's one scene that I didn't quite understand was where Venom, before he fights Riot, he says to Eddie that he will protect Earth and help him. All because of him.
Because of you, Eddie. Because of you. I want you.
Now, of course, the post-credits scene where we're introduced to Cassidy, the psychopathic killer, played by Woody Harrelson. And I just gotta say, he looks ridiculous. I mean, what's with that perm? And what makes it odd is how he says it. When I get out here, and I will, there's gonna be carnage. Really? There's gonna be carnage? The filmmakers had opportunities to develop new ideas, awesome and memorable moments for this movie to stand out. But instead, we got weird acting, hokey dialogue, and not so great action sequences. I give Venom a 6.5 out of 10. Thank you guys so much for watching my review. Leave your likes. If you like this video, please leave your comments down below. What did you think of the film, and what is your favorite moment? If you're new to this channel, please check out my earlier reviews, and check out my recent video, which will take you behind the lens of Dr. Film. Thank you guys again so much for watching, and I will see you at our next appointment.
Are you having a party? Or I can